Saturday's Crown Jewel pay-per-view featured some results that may have surprised a few fans. Not only did we see Logan Paul defeat Rey Mysterio to win the U.S. title, but we also saw Solo Sikoa get a dominant win over John Cena. Tonight's show dealt with all of the fallout from the weekend's events, but it also began setting up Survivor Series War Games. Among other matches, Ivar, Bronson Reed, Ricochet, and The Miz competed in a fatal four-way to find the next contender for Gunther's Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Let's take a look at what happened on tonight's show, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Phenom, Michael Bullock, fresh off another one of our legendary Raw chats, of course. And the road to the Survivor Series officially begins here tonight. Monday Night Raw live from the Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, on the USA Network. And we started it off with an in-ring, of course, an in-ring segment, as we had the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins, and he, excuse me one moment here. I got a video podcast going off here. Okay. I do apologize for that pop-up video. So, okay. So let's get into this. Opening segment, Seth freaking Rollins, and he invites Sami Zayn out to the ring. Sami didn't interrupt him. And Seth Rollins says, I wanted to thank you for, saving me, with the, from preventing Damian Priest from cashing in the Money in the Bank contract on me the other day at Crown Jewel. And he says, the best way for me to show my thanks is you have a World Heavyweight Championship match anytime. Just say when. And Sami was like, you know what? You're banged up. I don't really want to take any chances with it. I want you at your best. But Seth said, hey, I may not be at my best, but it doesn't prevent me from giving 100%. So Sami said, all right, then let's do it tonight. And we have ourselves a highly anticipated World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth freaking Rollins versus Sami Zayn. Wow. I'll tell you what, both of these guys are great, and the crowd seemed to be having a good time, but this segment was twice as long as it needed to be. Zayn going from feuding with one stable on SmackDown to feuding with another stable on Raw is starting to feel repetitive. This story needs to play out differently. So, but it set the table for a hell of a main event. So with that, let's start it off. Start off the in-ring action. Non-title match. Undisputed Tag Team Champions Damian Priest and Finn Balor squaring off against the New Day. Winners of the match, 9 minutes and 5 seconds. It was Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Let me tell you, Balor and Priest have grown into a solid tag team. They both bring completely different skills to the table, but find ways to combine them so they are a well-oiled machine. The match ended relatively clean, with Balor hitting the coup de grace on Woods for the win. Decent opening match that didn't overstay its welcome and gave the champions a win over one of the most successful teams in WWE history. Damian Priest is a longtime veteran of this business, but you can still see him making improvements to his game all the time. Little things like how he throws a punch look so much better now than they did a couple of years ago. It was surprising that nobody else from Judgment Day was at ringside for this. It would have made perfect sense for JD McDonough to be there so we could keep sucking up to Damian Priest in order to win him over. But I will give it a solid 3 stars for the effort to start here. So nice win for the champs here, a non-title win. So, but no rest for the weary. MF, as I bring good old MF Michael Fletcher in, it's no rest for the weary, because next week, Finn Balor and Damian Priest will be defending their undisputed tag team championships against main event Jey Uso and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Jey and Cody have invoked their rematch clause, and it's going to happen next week. So MF, your thoughts on all this as Judgment Day wins in 9:05?
Well, as far as the Judgment Day winning, it was no big surprise. It is a solid victory for them, and a good win for the tag team champions. Not something that is very that's becoming more and more common now in WWE that wasn't common back then. Tag team champions or champions winning in non-title fights. You remember back in the day, uh, sometimes the champions used to fall in these type of matches that kind of started making a scream championship committee moments. However, if you notice nowadays, few and far in between, we've been yelling about those type of moments now in WWE. So it's actually a welcome surprise and actually a breath of fresh air at some time. It makes the champions look a little more stronger when you win these non-title fights. Gives them nice little momentum heading into, like you said, a rematch, and more importantly, the rematch clause did come out and they have been issued. So I can't wait for next week. But yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So Michael Bullock, it's yours. 3 stars.
Yeah, I'll give it 3 stars as well. I mean, this was definitely a good way to start off the matches portion. But yeah, I mean, a nice win for Finn Balor and Damian Priest. But now, next week, like you said, they got to defend the titles against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso as they invoke their rematch clause. So we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, but yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on, Florio.
We do have a cutout here. It was Akira Tozawa squaring off against Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura wins the match 2 minutes and 35 seconds. This match had great energy and included more offense for Tozawa than expected, but it was still on the short side. Otis confronted Nakamura, but he just turned around and walked away from the powerhouse. Well, tonight you get away with it, but next week you're not getting away with it because Shinsuke Nakamura, Otis, one-on-one next Monday night in Washington, D.C. So, see how that goes. Then from there, fatal four-way matchup. This was one of the other big match that was announced ahead of time. The Miz versus Bronson Reed versus Ivar versus Ricochet. The winner of this match will challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at Survivor Series in Chicago, IWC capital of the world. Winner of the match in 13 minutes and 50 seconds, and the number one contender for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, The Miz. Miz pinning Bronson Reed. Now, it looked controversial, but here's the thing: it turned out there was upon further review, there was no controversy here. What happened? Ivar in one corner, Rick and Reed on the other corner, both missed their respective splashes. Ivar was going for a moonsault. Reed was going for a tsunami. Both met. Well, actually, Ivar connected with the moonsault on Ricochet. Reed missed the tsunami on Miz. Miz rolls up Reed. Ivar covers Ricochet. The referee, Mr. Danilo Anfibio, my and Michael Bullock's favorite referee, counted the fall. He counted 3, but here's the thing. Bronson Reed's shoulders were down. Ricochet got his shoulder up. No controversy. Miz is the rightful winner. So, The Miz is the rightful winner. The Miz, say what you want about him, one of the greatest Intercontinental Heavyweight Champions of all time, 8-time title holder, has a chance to make it number 9 at Survivor Series when he challenges the Reign General for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. So, MF, like I said, it looked controversial, but upon further review, Ricochet got the shoulder up. Bronson Reed did not. Therefore, the referee's decision was correct. Miz is the rightful winner. And now the Miz has a date with Destiny at Survivor Series against the Reign General.
Yeah, you could have used VAR. You could have used a referee's challenge like a la the NFL or the VAR in soccer. But you know what? Like we said, the referee's decision is always final. But the thing is, hindsight 2020, the referee got it right. This is one of the rare times where we've been attacking referees for very questionable calls lately in every sport, NHL, NBA. NFL, especially NFL, we've been going after the referees lately. But this time around, WWE, credit to them, they got this one right, and The Miz was indeed the rightful winner. Great opportunity for The Miz now. Obviously, a lot of people. Miz is still working in progress with his face character, but this is gonna probably help him. To be the underdog baby face to go up against, I think we can no doubtably say the greatest intercontinental champion of this generation with Gunther. So I mean, with everything he has done, now obviously the debate's gonna be: is Miz gonna be the one to take the belt? I honestly have to say no. I don't think he's going to take it. I think he's going to give Gunther a hell of a shot, and I think he'll give him a lot of problems and give him a great battle, but I just don't see Gunther losing the belt to The Miz. I honestly don't believe that. I don't believe this is going to be the moment for Gunther to lose it. I do believe at some point he will, but I just think this is not the time or the place for him to lose the belt. Not yet. Obviously, he has the reign as the longest reigning champion. He's getting close. I think he is getting close to 500 days already, or if he hasn't already passed that by now, he will eventually. I just feel like right now, The Miz is a great challenger. He's the right challenger at this moment in time. I just don't see him capitalizing and becoming the champion. Not yet. So this was at least a 3.5-star bout. This was a good match. You can even make an argument for a fight of the night, but it was still a great match. The right man won, which was The Miz. I just don't see him upending Gunther and ending the reign of him at the Survivor Series, unfortunately. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
So then the main question is, if it's not The Miz, then who? Because I can't even think of anybody else who is capable of challenging or even dethroning him. Unless you got some.
The only guy, honestly and truthfully, who I believe deserves another shot is Chad Gable. Gable was the one that came the closest. Gable was the one that came, in my opinion, should have been the one to end the reign. And I believe he will be the one to end the reign.
Well, the only argument, and there are some people who will probably say, hey, Gable already had his opportunity. It's time for somebody else to do it. But as you just said, Fletch, he came so close to doing it, to being the one to dethrone Gunther. But it just, I felt like he deserves another opportunity. I'm with you there. But there's just going to be some people who will say that he already had his chance. But to those out there, hey, he came close to doing it, and I think he's going to be the one to dethrone him. When? Who knows? But anywho, 3.5 stars. I agree with you on that. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch. Florio.
Yeah. Four men fought for a shot at Gunther's Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship tonight. The Miz, Bronson Reed, and Ricochet have all had run-ins with Gunther at some point, and Ivar had been on a roll. So this bout wasn't as predictable as a lot of matches we get every week. You know, it was a fun and frenetic match that made all four guys look good, which is not always easy in situations like this. The Miz hit several moves we don't usually see from him to get a big pop from the crowd. The ending of this match ended up being screwed up from the looks of it, based on how the ref was reacting. The Miz and Ivar were both supposed to get the pin at the same time, but Ricochet kicked out in what might have been a mistake. I don't know. We'll have to look and find out. But let's just do a best of 7 series with Ivar and Bronson Reed, because we need more super heavyweight fights in pro wrestling again. Even though Ricochet is lighter than a lot of competitors, Ivar lifting him from a sitting position on the mat into a suplex position was still impressive. The Hurricanrana Ricochet used to take him down right after was also cool. And this match had the first justified Tower of Doom spot in a long time. 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 of a star. Fantastic match. And I'll be honest, I had Miz winning this match, and I'm actually kind of not surprised based on that Miz TV segment they had some time ago. So, all right. Big news, theme of the night. Spoiler alert. This ended up being a newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw for many reasons. Here's one of them. The Creed brothers and Ivy Nile are all now exclusively to Monday Night Raw. Wow. That is awesome. To have the best young tag team in WWE today in the Creeds, who gave us so many memorable moments on NXT. And now to have these two young men on Monday Night Raw, they're going to bring Monday Night Raw back to wrestling, a la Jesse the Body Ventura. I mean, he always preached about wrestling, and those two guys, they epitomize wrestling, and I am excited. So, and Ivy Nile, a welcome addition to the women's division. It probably won't be light. It'll probably be light years before she gets her big moment, but I do believe she'll get a big moment, light years down the road, but not just yet. But they're now exclusive to Raw, and the Creed brothers went up against DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The winners of the match, 9 minutes and 40 seconds. The Creed brothers win. Unfortunately, it was not clean, though. What happened here was Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium attacked Johnny Gargano. The Creed hit the Brutus Bomb for the win. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, big win for the Creeds. Their biggest win, knocking off DIY, former NXT Tag Team Champions and two of the greatest NXT champions of all time, and Gargano and Ciampa. But by hook or by crook, it's the biggest win for the Creeds. So, your thoughts?
Yeah, this was definitely the biggest win for the Creeds, but something tells me I don't think they're going to be happy with the way they won it because of Ludwig Kaiser getting involved here. I'm sure they're probably like, hey, we could have beaten them on our own, but I mean, I'm sure the Creeds are going to have a little something to say about that, but I was going to give this 3 stars, but because of the overbooked finish with Ludwig Kaiser getting involved, I have to downgrade it a little bit to 2 3/4 of a star. This was a really good match, no doubt, but it's just that the overbooked finish left a bitter taste in my mouth. I mean, let these two teams go at it without any kind of interference. That's just how I feel about it. So, 2 3/4 of a star for me. I would have given it 3, but Kaiser's interference really took something out of it. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. Great match. Overall, it was a 3.5, but I'm bumping it down to about 3 to 3.25 stars. They didn't waste any time. Well, let me just set it up here. The Creeds followed up their successful Raw debut against Alpha Academy last week with a match against DIY. The Creeds came into it with a power advantage, but Ciampa and Gargano had the edge in experience. So they ended up on a very even playing field. They didn't waste time by starting slow to feel each other out. They got right into the action and packed quite a bit into the first few minutes before the commercial break. Both of these duos are great at double team offense, so we saw plenty of innovative spots sprinkled throughout the bout. With both teams being babyfaces right now, this was a good, clean bout between two teams that could be very important to the tag team division in the near future. Ciampa saved Gargano from taking the Brutus ball, but it was all for naught. Ludwig Kaiser interfered and cost DIY the match to give the Creeds their second win on Raw. This helps DIY and furthers a feud with Imperium, while also giving a new young team a big win. Ivy Nile can be such a great addition to the women's division on Raw, and let's hope WWE gives her some matches soon. Oh wait, she had one later. We'll get into that. Julius Creed standing up from the mat while holding up Johnny Gargano in a suplex position was an awesome display of power and balance. The way Brutus sold the Widow's Bell DDT looked incredible. His whole body went limp like he was knocked out cold. So overall, it was a 3.5, but I'm bumping it down to between 3 and 3 to 3.25 because of the unnecessary interference by Ludwig Kaiser. Wait for him to ruin what was on its way to being a banger of a match between two really great teams. So, but nonetheless, 3.25 down from 3.5. So, not much more to say. MF, the Creeds, now exclusive to Monday Night Raw. Business going to pick up in the tag team division.
Yeah, no, must needed too. 3.25 is my rating as well. The match did not need the interference. It did not need the interference. Yes, I know it prolongs the storyline, but this is one that they could have just let it be. Just let the guys go. I mean, this is one of those quality wrestling matches that didn't need an overbook. If you would have gotten a clean finish, all right, I would have been really happy with that. It didn't need the dusty finish. It didn't need the screwy ending. All it just did, it kind of hurts the Creeds a little bit, not much, because of what they've been doing lately. And for DIY, I mean, they can say, "Hey, wait a minute, I didn't need that," but we'll wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, solid battle, 3 to 3.25. Floyd will go.
All right. We move on now to another big match. A women's battle royale. And the winner of this battle royal will challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship, also at Survivor Series in Chicago. The winner of the match, in an even 16 minutes, and the number one contender for the Women's World Championship at Survivor Series to take on Rhea Ripley, Zoey Stark. That's right, Zoey Stark wins the Battle Royal. The field included Becky Lynch, Nia Jax, Natalya, Tegan Nox, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Shayna Baszler, Zoey Stark, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Xia Li, Maxine Dupree, Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, and Ivy Nile. Before the match started, Xia Li attacked Becky Lynch. Adam Pearce said, "No, you're no longer in the match," and sent her to the back. Michael Bullock called it being ejected. I call it being disqualified, but you can call it what you will. And then after another break, the match got started. It played out like most battle royals. We saw some comedy spots, a few interesting confrontations, and a couple of surprising eliminations. Final three were Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez, and Zoey Stark. Zoe Stark winning the match. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star for this. Battle Royals are always tricky to rate, but I thought this was one of the better ones. Nikki Cross was still doing her blank stare that she started doing during her tag match with Candice LeRae recently. There was a funny moment with Nia Jax, Nikki Cross, and Raquel Rodriguez before Nikki Cross was thrown out of the ring. Rodriguez eliminating Chelsea Green was an entertaining spot. Nia Jax told Becky Lynch that no one woman would eliminate her, and she was right. It was 4 women. Of course, you definitely conjured up the memories of that infamous Monday Night Raw 5 years ago when Nia Jax broke Becky Lynch's face, and we ended up missing out on what would have been a banger of a match at that year's Survivor Series with Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey, but that unfortunately did not happen. Charlotte took the spot, and it still ended up being a banger of a match anyway, but no harm, no foul, but still. But that was 5 years ago. This is tonight, and this was 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. A bit of a shocker here. I mean, I thought it was going to be Nia Jax. I thought maybe Raquel Rodriguez. I thought outside chance of Becky Lynch, but honestly, I think they're saving Becky for WrestleMania. That's just how I feel about it. I think it's going to be Rhea and Becky at WrestleMania 40. I wouldn't be surprised if they're holding off until then. But surprise winner, Zoe Stark, biggest win of her career. After, being under the learning tree of Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. And here she is now. Biggest win of her career. Could it lead to an even bigger win in Chicago at Survivor Series? I think she'll give Rhea fits, but I think at the end of the day, Mommy is going to walk out still the champ. So there's no doubt about that. So 3.5, 3 3/4 MF. Surprise winner here. Zoe Stark. Biggest win of her career. Golden opportunity. Zoe Stark going to Survivor Series as she will challenge Rhea Ripley for that Women's World Championship. I think she'll give Rhea fits, but I think Rhea ultimately will eke out the win.
I'm pretty sure Rhea will win it, no doubt about it. You know what? It's funny too, because think about this. The women that were there at the end, if you think about it, are the same women that fought just this past Saturday for that very same title. Minus, I think the only person that was missing in the equation, if memory serves me right, was Shayna Baszler. So, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, the final 3 were practically people that we noticed. Nia Jax got dumped out by 4 women. A very impressive feat there. Obviously, they weren't gonna do Becky, not yet. We all can agree that's probably down the pipeline. That's probably more than likely WrestleMania. We'll see if that does transpire, but it's definitely within the cards. And then as far as Zoe Starks go, look, she deserves a true one-on-one match, but honestly, at this moment in time, with the way Rhea's been, like we said, we've already made it very clear. Rhea Ripley is the female wrestler of the year for 2023, and there is no debate at all. At least when it came to Anthony Florio, in my opinion, there's no debate. Rhea Ripley is the female wrestler of the year for 2023, and it's not even close, at least in our minds. So there's really nothing more to say. 3 stars. Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, I'll give it 3, 3.5. I mean, yeah, this was a good battle royal. I mean, what a moment for Zoe Stark. I mean, now she gets the opportunity of a lifetime to battle for the Women's World Championship at Survivor Series. I mean, there were some great moments here, but there is one moment that really, really irked me. And Florio and Fletch, you know where I'm going with this. during the match when Nia Jax got eliminated, of course, Ivy Nile was already went over, but the thing is, she was still standing on the apron after they eliminated Nia Jax. But then after that, Nia Jax pulled Ivy Nile down, and the ref said that's an elimination. This is where I continue to have a problem with this. I mean, an elimination should happen when it's someone who is in the battle royal, not someone who's already been eliminated or by someone who's not even in the battle royal. I'm getting sick and tired of this bull crap that I continue to see in these battle royals time after time after time.
And the Royal Rumble too. And the Royal Rumble too.
Any battle royal, including the Royal Rumble, because to me, I mean, if the person is pulled out by someone who's not even in the battle royal or is not even in it, should be allowed to go back in. Plain and simple. I thought, here's my message to Triple H right here, right now. You need to wake your ass up and fix this damn problem. This was a problem that McMagma didn't even have the balls to fix. Triple H, you're in charge of creative. You need to fix this problem right now, because I'm saying this right here, right now. As the more this happens, the more I will continue to go on these rants about this ridiculous rule until it gets solved. Elimination should only happen by someone who is in a battle royal or a Royal Rumble match, not someone who has already been eliminated or is not even in the match. Agreed, everyone?
Agreed. 100% agreed.
Yeah, you're not gonna get an argument or a fight with me on this one. I know where you're going, Bullock. I am not going there. I know when to hold them and I know when to fold. I'm folding my cards on this one.
Those eliminations, those ridiculous.
But wouldn't you say that Triple H needs to fix this damn problem?
Agreed.
I hate to say this, but I see this happen so many times in wrestling. This is not a WWE issue. I'm sorry. This isn't. This is just a professional wrestling issue. Do you know how many times I saw this in RWA during the Renegade Rumble? That illegal elimination happened. Oh my God! I could give you stories on a couple of illegal eliminations.
Well, for all those wrestling companies, whether it's WWE, RWA, AEW, I don't care who it is. Fix this damn problem, because we, the people, deserve better than this. We want to see people like Ivy Nile or like have an opportunity. But until they get this fixed, I'm going to continue to call this thing out until it gets solved.
Dude, I'll give you. You want? All right. You want Michael Bullock's head to explode? I'm about to rage him right now. I'll give you an incident that happened recently. This was a few years ago. RWA. It was Renegade Rumble. The final two men at the time was the Mind Eraser Mike Rasa and a wrestler you two don't know who I knew, Jammin' Jack Connor. They were fighting at the end. This was the final two of the Rumble. And the Unbalanced Messiah, Christopher Dozier, showed up, eliminated both men, and Dozier was not even involved in the Rumble. He illegally went in, dumped them both out, and it was deemed a no contest. The Rumble got thrown out because of the illegal elimination at the end.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Nope.
Oh
It
my
was-
god!
it
You
was-
see, this is why wrestling companies need to fix this damn problem.
Now I will say they did rectify it a month later. They had Grassa and Connor fight, and they did straight up 1-on-1. Grassa won that match and went on to fight for the championship.
Well, I'm glad it got resolved, but the thing is, it never should have came to that.
No.
It never should have. I mean, this is why I hate this rule, whether it's in WWE, whether it's in RWA, or any wrestling company for that matter. All the wrestling companies, you need to fix this damn problem, or my inner phenom's going to come out a lot more, and I'm going to get my shovel, and I'm going to bury somebody's ass 6 feet under. Because this thing is really getting to me, and I'm getting sick and tired of this bull crap. I'm done. I'm finished. Florio, please take it. I'm really getting sick and tired of this whole thing.
Those eliminations should be marked as asterisks. Simple as that.
Exactly.
And on top of that, if someone who's already, and like I said, if it's somebody that's not in the match or someone that's already been eliminated, he or she should automatically be allowed to go back in, because that is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, any company that allows something like that to happen, that is a disgusting act, and it should and something should be 100% done about it. And if it was me,
and the only time
wait, boys. I should have added this little caveat, but I didn't want to implode it. But when Dozier did what he did, he was the world heavyweight champion.
Because he wanted to face one guy instead of the other, because he knew deep down in his soul he couldn't beat the other guy.
Nah. He just didn't believe either one of them were worthy of the opportunity.
Oh.
So he decided to be a sneak and a snake and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I will say this.
So he
it
figured,
did work well for Dozier at the end.
No number one contender.
So T Phoenix was not happy, obviously. We weren't happy, obviously. So right after that, that's when he made the decision. Let's just give Connor versus Grassa the opportunity. Whoever wins that gets Dozier at Legacy. The thing is, when they went to the Legacy, Dozier successfully defended the title. As a matter of fact, no, wait. It was in a cage. Devin Blades came out and firebombed Mike Grassa. I remember it. He firebombed him. What I mean by firebombing him, he basically did Sheik basically lit that little thing of paper and lit Grassa on fire.
Wow. Man alive. But
And you want to know what crazy is? My friend who I went with that night was asking for it. He was hoping that we would see a firebomb. Guess what? You ask, you shall receive, and poor Mike Grassa was the one who ended up getting firebombed.
Good Lord.
Man. Yeah. But anyhow, that, like I said, this needs to change everywhere in professional wrestling. Period.
Agreed.
End of quotation, end of statement.
That's it.
Get that through your thick skulls to everyone, whether it's Triple H, Tony Khan, I don't care who owns the major wrestling companies. You need to fix this problem, and because it's a major disservice to people like Ivy Nile. I mean, so many other wrestlers. I mean, the only time I ever remember happening it where elimination did not count was the 1996 Royal Rumble, where we all thought Shawn Michaels was eliminated, but the referee said no, it doesn't count. Why
Yeah,
why didn't
Gorilla
they go?
Monsoon, because of Gorilla Monsoon. He made it right. He made things right. We need
Well,
a
why
Gorilla
couldn't
Monsoon
everyone else
authority.
follow suit of that?
Yeah, where was Adam Pearce? Where was he? But
anywho, I'm getting sick and tired of this. This
I know.
changes need to be made. As the late great Owen Hart would say, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
100% agree.
And as Edge would say to all those wrestling companies, wake up!
All right. So with that, let's dive on in to something much more positive. But before that, next week on Washington, D.C., at the Capital One Arena, the home of the Capitals and the Wizards, The Miz is going to go one-on-one with Ivar. Tegan Knox goes one-on-one with Piper Niven. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Otis. And Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. Main event of the evening for the World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Seth freaking Rollins, defending the title against Sami Zayn. Winner of the match, 20 minutes and 15 seconds, and still the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Whoa. He's still the champ, but it didn't last long. Yes, Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins had a moment of sportsmanship, a la myself and Michael Bullock, if it was us. After the match was over, Judgment Day came out, attacked. Yeah, it was Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough attacking Seth freaking Rollins and Sami Zayn. Jey Uso comes out. They eventually jump him. And then Cody Rhodes comes out. And then we had all these referees show up. Adam Pearce shows up. And Adam Pearce literally had himself a duck and a half. And well, he said those magic words. The magic words that Mr. William Regal made famous in NXT. He said, you four want to play games? And you four want to play games? We're going to play games in Chicago at Survivor Series.
War Games!
And in the immortal words of Michael Bullock and William Regal, with the look in the eyes and the face of Adam Pearce were any indication, War Games! It is official. We have our main event for Survivor Series. War Games, the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough squaring off against the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Oh, baby. All right. MF, it's only fitting you start this off. You are our hype man after all. So it's only fitting you started off. First off, Seth freaking Rollins successfully defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Sami Zayn, 20 minutes and 15 seconds. But after that, Adam Pearce made it official. Judgment Day versus Rollins, Zayn, Uso, and Cody. War Games, IWC, capital of the world, Chicago. Let's go.
There's really nothing more to say, boys. Are you ready to go to war and the match beyond? Because that's exactly where you're going.
Oh, hell yeah, baby.
This is what you wanted. This is what we were waiting for. And I know a lot of people are angry. There are some people not happy because at first we're thinking, oh, are we getting Raw versus SmackDown? Raw versus SmackDown? No, we're getting War Games. But the thing is, this one makes a lot of sense. 4-on-4. Now, traditionally, we've had 5-on-5. But this time around, it's a 4-on-4. It is War Games the way that it is going to be. That's why they added the extra seating in Chicago. Because there's going to be 2 effing rings and a goddamn steel cage, a steel tempered cage surrounding the entire ring. The 2 rings. There's really nothing more to say. You need the extra space. This is going to be nuts. It's going to be insane. This is, without a doubt, the 8-man that's most deserving to be in it. Judgment Day's been running WWE like roughshod. They've been destroying everything in sight. Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, which is rare because normally we don't get the World Heavyweight Champion in there, but we do have the champion in there in this one, and Cody Rhodes. How apropos is this for him? His father was technically the brainchild of the War Games. He, with Ric Flair, the Horsemen, brought War Games to life. Everybody remembers the place, the Orange Bowl, Miami, Florida. That's where the War Games was originated. It's where the birthplace of the War Games is. War Games has taken so many different iterations. AEW has their version called Blood and Guts. This is the one. And for Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, to finally go into this version of War Games, that is the match that was created by his father, is apropos. It is, without a doubt, the most fulfilling thing that Cody gets to do in his career. He has been in Blood and Guts. He's been in that War Games level type fight before. So he knows the danger that he needs to go into. All these men, there's certain guys who are going into this for the first time that has no idea what's about to happen in War Games. Trust me, you want to know what's going to happen? Once that bell rings, you try to decimate your opponent to a point of unconsciousness, whatever. But it won't be until all 8 men are in, that's when the real fun begins. That's when the real chaos starts, because once all 8 are in, the War Games commences. The match beyond begins. And at that point, may God have mercy on your effing soul at that point. Years gets taken off your life. Years gets taken off your career. And for some of these guys, you're going to be battered. You're going to be bruised. And you're going to get hurt. And you know what? To do it in a bloodthirsty city like Chicago, Illinois, Anthony Floyo has always alluded it as the IWC capital of the world. This is what it's meant to be. Triple H and his boys were like, you know what? We could have gone Raw versus SmackDown. They kind of started flirting with that idea of Raw versus SmackDown, especially after the run-in between Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, when Jey Uso got kicked out of the building, and we also kicked out Adam Pearce. You're thinking, uh-oh, could we get War Games SmackDown versus Raw? What, like, how was that gonna look like? No, I guess Triple H is like, you know what? We could revisit this little rivalry between Raw and SmackDown another time. Fine by me. You know what? I didn't mind kicking Raw's ass in this time, and I know Floyd would felt the same way. I know Raw would have been ready to come after SmackDown. Fine. Unfortunately, we ain't fighting each other this time around. Not this year. Maybe down the line, who knows? But one thing is for sure, man. War Games is going to be nuts. 4.25 to 4.5 for the World Heavyweight Championship fight, but it gets trumped, no pun intended, because of the War Games. That announcement got the blood boiling for me. It got the blood boiling for Florio and Bullock because now we got the match. It's going down. There's nothing more to say. The battle lines are now drawn. 4-on-4. We got the men. Lock them in those little shark cages. There'll probably be a match to determine who gets the power play, the man advantage throughout the entire War Games fight. That will probably happen probably the week before the War Games event happens. So we'll see how that plays out. We got one for the men. There's probably a women's coming down the pipeline. Maybe come from SmackDown. Who knows? You don't know. We'll see. So we'll see how this plays out. Oh man, Michael Bullock. I know you're excited because you love the War Games. And when it comes, but here we go, bro. Yeah, this is your tutorial.
I feel like I'm getting
Bullock, you there? That's weird. Yeah, that's strange here. I mean, I heard Bullock just a minute ago, and MF, I heard you too. That's very, very strange. But oh, we lost Bullock. All right, MF, are you there? Oh boy, we lost MF too. Oh boy. Yeah, it's obvious. Must have been a technical glitch on both of their ends, but nonetheless, I mean, it's very exciting to think about. But while we wait for them, while we wait for one or both of them to come back, I'll give you my thoughts on the main event here. No doubt about it. This was the fight of the night. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Incredible main event. And these two men are friends who respect each other. So they started with a simple, clean lockup that led to a nice technical sequence. Sammy started playing mind games by patting Rollins on his injured back to show that he could have attacked it, but he chose not to. Their offense got more aggressive as the match progressed, but they kept it within the confines of the rules. Both competitors were taking a lot of risks to make this feel like an important main event. Unsurprisingly, Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins put on a great performance that was met with chants of "This is awesome." After struggling to counter a Boston Crab, Rollins managed to roll Zayn over and keep him down for the 1-2-3 count. Judgment Day attacked Sami Zayn as he was leaving the ring, and Seth Rollins ended up getting taken down when he tried to help. Jey Uso came out to assist Seth and Sami, but the tide didn't turn until Cody Rhodes showed up. Several producers and security guards broke up the fight, and Pierce had a meltdown on the mic. He booked Judgment Day versus Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes for War Games. Unbelievable. Very exciting to think about, to say the very least. Unfortunately, Bullock and MF have both lost their connections. So I just got a message from Michael Bullock stating that he lost his connection. So yeah. I'm not sure about what happened to MF, but I assume maybe the same thing happened to him. I don't know, but nonetheless, all right, we got MF back. Okay, all right, we got MF back in. Unfortunately, Michael Bullock has lost his internet connection, so I think we might have lost Bullock for the night here. So
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Cox Communications just absolutely shit the bed on us. I apologize for my language, but
yeah,
I just lost my Wi-Fi connection too. So I'm actually on a cell phone. I'm actually on my cell phone right now using my mobile data because I don't know what the hell just happened, but yeah, me and Bullock just got whammied at the same freaking time.
yeah, and just as Bullock was about to go into his thoughts, and Bullock was getting,
Oh,
Bullock was like,
he was getting jacked up. He was getting jacked up just like I was. But yeah, I mean, this sucks, man. I don't know what the hell happened.
yeah,
It just absolutely we just got jumped. I have no internet connection right now. My cable just went out. I don't even think I have a phone right now. So the only mode of thing I got is this cell phone that I'm using. Thank God Samsung. Thank you Samsung Galaxy, because this is the only way I'm right now connected to you, Florio.
my goodness, unbelievable. So yeah, I was just giving my thoughts on the main event as well. 4.25 to 4.5 stars for the match, and let's get into the overall review here. But before I do, having someone make their entrance just to have them wait 10 minutes in the ring for the match to start makes absolutely no sense. And Sami waited through a commercial break and a video package before Rollins made his entrance. Sami Zayn is such a great singles performer. His tag team with Kevin Owens was great, but Sami Zayn is really at his best when he is a solo act fighting someone bigger than him. And the moonsault Sami hit from the barricade looked nice. 4.25, 4.5 stars. War Games, very exciting to say the very least. And this is the match that's pretty much going to sell Survivor Series. So it worked last year. We'll see if it works again this year. So not much more to say on that. So let's get into the overall review here. I'll start it off. Tonight's Raw had to deal with the fallout from Crown Jewel and set up Survivor Series, and it managed to do both of those things relatively well. The Fatal 4-Way match, Creed versus DIY, and New Day versus Judgment Day were all good in different ways, but the best performance of the night was the main event with Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. The Women's Battle Royal also had some interesting moments. Xia Li taking out Becky Lynch has set them on a collision course. Zoe Stark winning gives Rhea Ripley a fresh challenger, and a few other potential feuds were teased along the way. This episode had some flaws, but the good far outweighed the bad tonight. 8.5 is my rating for this show tonight. We only had like one bad match, but other than that, all the other matches were solid to good to great. Newsworthy show. 3 matches now set for Survivor Series. Gunther versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark for the Women's World Championship. And then War Games. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough for the Judgment Day, going up against Seth freaking Rollins, Sami Zayn, main event Jey Uso, and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. So we'll see how that plays out. But for right now, 8.5. MF, your thoughts, and then I'll quickly get into my Tony's take here.
Solid 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. Great show tonight. A book ended by the War Games announcement. There's really nothing more to add here. So, Anthony, I'm just going to give it to you so that you can talk about your Impact Wrestling.
Yes, indeed. Started off with Impact Wrestling itself. The week before, it was a it was, of course, it was a recap show. It was a Best of Bound for Glory show, so there wasn't really much to talk about on that one. But I do have Impact Wrestling, and we started it, and here we go. They showed these matches that were taped at the O2 Academy in Glasgow, Scotland. It was Joe Henry versus Frankie Kazarian for the Glasgow Cup. And Joe Henry It was Joe Henry winning the match. Joe Henry ended up winning the Glasgow Cup. He won the match 12 minutes and 57 seconds, 3.25 to 3.5. This did what it did what it was supposed to do. Give the UK fans a moment as their star wins a meaningless prize and give Henry one of the bigger singles wins of his career. They covered the wrestling portion of the show rather well as Kazarian continues to show that he is one of the best hands in all of Impact. Nice opener here, and they covered a good bit with one match. 6-person mixed tag Subculture. All 3 members, Flash Morgan Webster, Mark Andrews, and Danny Luna, went up against Brian Myers, Moose, and Deonna Purrazzo. The heel team wins the match. 15 minutes and 43 seconds, 3.5, 3.75. Subculture has done a lot more than I would have expected after they left NXT UK. At the very least, the fact that they are still together and have found some success in Impact is impressive enough. While I can see how the fans might not be pleased at the UK team losing here, Moose and Deonna Purrazzo had title shots coming, so other than pinning Myers, there wasn't much of a way out here for Subculture. Grado squaring off against Trey Miguel. Trey Miguel wins the match. Grado wins the match. 8 minutes and 41 seconds. 2.5, 2.75. Grado's a big deal in the UK. It completely made sense to put him here against someone who won't be hurt by the loss. It's another example of giving the fans something to cheer about as they're going to, just about anything Grado does. It won't hurt Miguel either, so it was about as appropriate as you could get. Knockouts champion Trinity went up against Emerson Jane. Trinity wins in 7:09. Another 2.5, 2.75. Jane certainly had some charisma and will probably get noticed after this kind of a match. Trinity is at the top of the division and likely will be until at least Hard to Kill for the match with Jordynne Grace. Other than that, though, this was a match where Trinity wasn't in a ton of danger to lose. Nice way to get the champ on the show, though, and that's what mattered most. Main event was Motor City Machine Guns going up against Josh Alexander and Eric Young. And Motor City Machine Guns winning the match 20 minutes and 23 seconds. Fight of the night, 4.25, 4.5 stars. Felt like exactly what it was. Big time house show match that got a bunch of former world champions in the ring in a match that you won't see on a regular Impact. Young was there for no reason other than to take the fall, and that's a fine role for him at this point in his career. The Guns can still go with just about anyone, and they did well in this one. 7.5 out of 10. Good show, but it's just a house show that they taped and aired here. I get that they're on tour and we can't do a usual TV, but we're now 2 shows past Bound for Glory and don't have anything resembling Fallout. Not a problem yet, though. If this kind of thing keeps happening, that will change in a hurry. Matches here were all at least decent, but it was absolutely not a show you need to watch in any way. So that was that. That was a 7.5 out of 10. Now, this past Friday, Impact Wrestling aired an event over on Impact Plus, and it was called Turning Point, and it took place from the Walker Activity Dome in Newcastle upon Tyne, England. It was taped October 27th, and it was aired last Friday. 2 pre-show matches. We had Grado and Rhino against Ryan Richards and Mike DiVecchio. Grado and Rhino winning in 4 minutes and 26 seconds. And then Leon Slater defended the North Wrestling Championship against Mark Haskins. Leon Slater retains the title, 11 minutes and 22 seconds. Main card, Eric Young and Josh Alexander went up against Subculture. Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Eric Young, Josh Alexander winning the match, 14 minutes and 2 seconds. Giselle Shaw went up against Alex Windsor. Giselle Shaw wins the match, 8 minutes, 38 seconds. Rich Swann versus Trey Miguel. Rich Swann wins the match, 11 minutes and 45 seconds. Jordynne Grace going up against Danny Luna of Subculture. Jordynne Grace winning the match, 8 minutes and 48 seconds. Joe Henry went up against Simon Miller. Joe Henry winning in 8 minutes and 21 seconds. Brian Myers and Moose against Frankie Kazarian and Chris Sabin. Brian Myers and Moose winning the match, 15 minutes and 52 seconds. Huge match here. Impact Knockouts Championship on the line. Champion Trinity defending against the Virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. with a special guest referee, Gail Kim. Gail Kim served as the guest referee. Caveat here. This was a last chance match. Deonna Purrazzo had to win the title because if she didn't, she will no longer challenge for the Impact Knockouts Championship for as long as Trinity is the champion. Well, unfortunately, that's what happened here for Deonna Purrazzo, that is, because the winner of the match, 16 minutes and 11 seconds, and still the Knockouts champion, it is Trinity. Deonna Purrazzo can no longer challenge for the Knockouts Championship for as long as Trinity is the champion. Main event, Eddie Edwards, one-on-one with Will Ospreay. And Will Ospreay won the match, 18 minutes and 20 seconds. Wow. That's all I can say on that. So let's quickly set the table for Impact Wrestling for this coming week. I think it's going to be more tape matches that they're going to be airing here, but some good ones nonetheless. All right. Tasha Steelz versus Deonna Purrazzo. Tommy Dreamer will defend the Digital Media Championship against Crazy Steve. And in the main event, Alex Shelley will defend the Impact World Heavyweight Championship against Jonathan Gresham. So that's pretty much it. So that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you Wednesday night, 10 p.m. over on MF's channel, Racefan 95, immediately following AEW Dynamite. It is Wednesday Night Madness, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and yes, we do have to preview a dud Thursday night football game, the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. And then Thursday night, we got the Week 11 edition of College Football Thursday. Another exciting week of action. We'll get into that. And then Friday night, we have the Week 10 edition of NFL Friday. We'll recap the Panthers-Bears briefly, and then we'll get into the rest of the slate for week number 10. And then Saturday night, 10:30, Racefan 95 with MF, Cerebral Smack Talk, Friday Night SmackDown, AEW Collision. I know we haven't been doing that show much lately, but I'm hopeful that we'll have it this time around. And then next Monday night, we do it all again for Ridiculously Raw, as we are now off and running and fully now on the road to the Survivor Series. So with that, I'll put the bow on this. So until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness, Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever, the First Lady Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days, and until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.